Hey guys, it's your girl Kizzy Rock, and yes, Kizzy Rock is my birth given name. Happy Saturday morning, guys. Is it morning? No, I slept late today. Happy Saturday afternoon. I want to say hey to all my subscribers, new as well as seasoned. I got a word for you. Tap in. Good afternoon, guys. I'm going to jump right in. I pulled a couple of emails and one from my Instagram DM. So I want to talk about a few different topics. I'm going to kind of blend them all in one because each one should be pretty fairly short. One is in regards to someone who wanted me to talk about the importance of offenses, forgiveness, etc. Someone wanted me to talk about, just those drama-filled relationships, guy cheating, that type of thing, but she have a soul tie, etc. We'll talk about that. Typically kind of stay away from those recordings because it's toxic and I just don't like toxic things, but I get it. I understand people are really going through this thing and soul ties are real. Narcissists are real. And then lastly, a gentleman wanted me to talk about when someone betray you, right? Like you help someone out and they literally betray you. I don't, he didn't specify if it's like from a guy friend or like maybe a female quote unquote friend, if you will, but I'm going to try to blend them, but we'll see. All right, first thing first, let's talk about offenses and the importance of forgiveness. Now, again, I'm transparent with most areas of my life when it comes down to purpose and calling, and I've always said forgiveness is not my strong point. I have several strengths. I have a couple of weaknesses. We all have strengths and weaknesses. Forgiveness is not that strong point for me. But forgiveness is important. It is. Offenses, forgiveness, all that stuff is important. Here's what I've learned as far as a spiritual point of view within the last several years, I should say, is it's almost like when you're holding on to stuff, and sometimes we don't even know we're holding on to it. This is why it is important to ask God to show you your heart. When you ask him that, he's going to show you some things that you thought you forgot about and some things that you buried from 1920, right? So it's like, ask him to show you your heart, and it's going to blow your mind the things that come back up. But what I had to learn was this: God can only get certain things to you, downloaded, through the spiritual realm, if you're clean and emptied, right? It's almost like you're asking him to take something that's pure and then deposit it into something that's negative, regardless if that negative and that toxic stuff is intentional or unintentional. It's still within you. So this is why I think we hear things like our blessings will be on hold until we forgive. We in the fleshly sense start thinking like, oh, well, forgiveness just means I got to go and say, hey, I accept your apology and I'm done. No, no, that's just a word. I forgive you is just a word, right? Our words. But if it's still within your spirit, it have to be uprooted in whatever way, however God chooses to transform you and help you, right? It still have to be uprooted and then dispelled from your spirit. So now you have all this toxic stuff that has been sitting in you dormant from childhood or early adulthood or that first marriage or whatever. That stuff have to be uprooted and expelled. That's a process. At least for some. I think some people are just naturally gifted, I guess, to forgive. I have a friend like that. I just never seen anything like it. I never seen anything like it. Like, she doesn't even need like days or weeks or months. It's like if somebody offend her, or like her forgiveness level is so strong, and it's truly forgiveness. She doesn't hold on to it. She never even talks about it the second time, right? Where some of us, we're going to be talking about something for a lifetime. So, but the point is we all are different, and that's okay, right? But we have to get to a point. So if you're like me and it's not your area of strength, you do need to ask God to give you grace to forgive. Ask him to show you areas that you may not even realize that you're still holding on to, so he can uproot it. And that's a process, and then help you to expel it. But then again, I always say, forgiveness does not always equate to reconciliation. Forgiveness does not always mean you have to let that person back into your life. You got to use wisdom there, right? Because you can forgive somebody, but that person's ways may still be the same. So if the person haven't changed, your discernment and your wisdom is like, listen, okay, I forgive you, but you're still the same person. So if I let you back into my life like that, in a close knit form, you're gonna do the same thing. Where's the wisdom in that, right? But if this person has completely transformed, then I don't know. That's a conversation between you and God. Personally, because the way I'm set up, the way my loyalty is set up, it's like, I can forgive you, but I don't know. I don't want you in my space. If I see you, hey, how are you doing? Right. Truly is nothing there. No more like resentment, but I just can't sit to a table and have lunch with you and laugh. And that's just me. All right. But yes, it's important that we release these things, because I personally have experienced myself in the last several years just a massive amount of blessings that was released back to back. But it wasn't until I allowed God to come into my God, give me grace times 1,000 to the 13th power divided by 5 plus 2 minus 1 times 13. That's how much grace I needed with. Ooh, child. That's how much grace I needed with forgiveness. All right. That's that. And then that's when I realized how much stuff I'm getting downloaded to me in the spiritual realm. Because now I'm pure. Not perfect, but pure. So I can hear better. So, next I want to talk about this toxic relationship from a female that I got an email from. She's in her 30s. I think the guy's in his 30s or early 40s, something like that. And it's just a very, very toxic relationship. He has cheated several times, and please forgive me, I won't do it again, etc., etc. Let's go to counseling. Let's go. It's still doing it over and over. And then where she is she's constantly having these back and forth with the females. So it's like it's a whole bunch of drama where she feels like the female should be responsible, because in a day of quote unquote women's power, women should look out for each other, etc. And then it's a lot. But again, I always tell people, don't be judgmental, because either you may have experienced that in your past and you're just no longer at that point where you will accept someone's messy behavior, or maybe you will never get to that point, but we can never say never, right? Also, soul ties is real. You can want to leave somebody all day long. But those soul ties keep you literally tied. All right, so I don't have the email pull up, so I'm going to just kind of go with a few things that I do remember. Okay, as far as quote unquote women power shits, okay, I get what you're saying there. It would be such a great world if women will recognize that, well, if we start trying to hide men's behavior and creeping behind this sister's back or whatever, the world would be a better place, period. The world would be a better place, because like you said, it almost make it easier for men to cheat, because women are now willing, because there is such a shortage in quote unquote good men, that it will make it easier for men not to cheat if women are not so available when they know someone have a man. Okay, I get you. I do. And you're right. However, at the same time, this man is who have this commitment with you. right? I don't, you know, I don't know if you said y'all married or not. I don't even know. But this man, the commitment is to you. But I hear you and I agree with you when you say about woman power, we should support each other. I get you. 100%. I agree. But the reality is this. His commitment is to you. You are allowing the behavior because you know about what's going on, obviously. You are allowing that behavior. So you got, I mean, where is the consequences? Like, I mean, where's the consequences? Have you packed up? Have you packed up and left? Well, you say you believe you have a soul tie. Well, first thing, if you do have a soul tie, personally, again, I believe we all have to go to God to ask God for healing and direction and how to leave certain situations. Because again, someone's situation may be completely different than yours, but then they're giving you advice from a friend's point of view. You got to go to God and ask God, how do I break the soul tie? I need you to step in because now, honestly, flesh is not enough to break a soul tie. That you got to break that in the spiritual realm. So God will give you your directions. The problem is most times people aren't prepared for what God is going to require them to do because God is not going to play with you, right? Nobody about to sit here and worry about your emotions about, oh, well, if I tell you change the number, your feelings are going to be hurt because he may go to the next girl. He's just not going to play those games. So when he tell you change the number, when he tell you fast, when he tells you this, and that, are you going to be okay with that? This is why I always say, don't go to God until you are 100% ready. Because see, we can scream all day long. I'm tired. I'm just tired. I'm tired. One thing I've learned personally, when you're tired, you won't even say you're tired. Your actions then show. So if you're still verbally and physically saying, I'm tired, I'm done, I'm tired, you're not tired. You are not tired until your soul is tired. If your body, the physical, if you're just tired, well, you're just tired. We're tired all the time from work, from this, from that. You're just tired. When your soul is tired, you have nothing to give. Not a counseling session, not a sit down with a pastor, not a meeting of the minds. You have nothing to give. You will say nothing. When he turned the keys, the house will be empty. Well, I mean, all things considered, you figure that out. The house will be empty. The number will be changed. You can't even find me at this point. That's tired. But no judgment, because people are always so quick to judge people who can't leave a toxic or a messy relationship. And then these people forget that when they were in one themselves and how hard it was to leave. Soul ties are real. But no, the next woman, it will be great if she gives you the respect, but her commitment really is not to you in reality form. You know, I promise you this happened about 2 weeks ago. I was out of town, right? I was out of town and I actually took my dog with me this time. So I was at this hotel. Mind you, it was at a nice hotel, so I don't even know how their messy behinds even got, away with all that drama. But I heard a little bit of drama. Well, I heard a lot of drama. It was a guy and a girl. They were fussing, right? I mean, it was really, really, really fussing. And I was like, let me just stay in this room until that stuff calms down. So I went to take my dog outside. And the reason why I can no longer hear them fussing indoors is because they're now outdoors acting a straight fool, right? She is just wilding out. I'm tired of you. Just going off. And I could hear him, but when I opened the door to take my dog out, he instantly was quiet because, of course, I guess now he wanted to just act like, well, all this drama is not coming from us. But she was still on 10. I'm tired of you cheating. You doing me this way. And just straight hood, but whatever. So when I walk out the door, I'm just like, okay, but I mind my business. Walked a few steps. Let my dog go potty. And then I heard this chick say to him, And if you look at her, I'm going to bust your mother. And now everybody just quiet. So I'm looking at her, right? And I'm just like, okay. Of course, I didn't say anything. It's okay. That's the problem right now. Every time you see a bad, you want to, and I'm tired of you. I smiled. I said, you guys have a great evening. Came back in my room. But then I'm thinking to myself, sis, I'm the last of your worries, right? Because I sure don't want this fool, right? Okay, that's one thing. But what if I did want him? Why are you up on me? What, like, we got to stop worrying about the next female. Your problem is really with your dude, right? You got to demand respect. Period. If respect is not given to you, right, which it should be, but it's reality, you have to demand respect. And if it's not given after you demand it, then you bounce, period. But we're saying one thing and then our actions are showing another. So you got to get to the point where you are ready to leave without looking back. But I know, again, that's not easy because a lot of times in these toxic relationships, what happened? Your self-esteem have already been diminished. You have no confidence. They probably done put all kind of stuff in your head. Nobody's going to want you, all those children. So you don't even know where to start. Start by asking God to step in. Lord, I cannot do this without you. I need you. Please give me guidance and direction. I've tried on my own. He's waiting on you to ask. He waits on us to ask. Once we ask, he's like, ooh, finally. Not but finally. And then he starts to move in. But again, and lastly, do not ask him to step in if you are not 100% soul tired. Because when you ask God to step in, there's no turning back. I learned that the hard way. You can't change your mind and say, oh, wait a minute now. I asked you to step in, but I didn't know I got to do all this. Wait a minute. I changed my mind. No. So be real with yourself. Are you really, 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 really tired? Is your soul tired? If it is, ask God to step in. All right, lastly, a gentleman asked me to talk about when friends betray you. You know what? Let me see if I can pull up his text right quick. Can you please talk about friends who are screwing you over when you help them? People really don't understand the concept of cutting off your blessings because of your actions towards others. Very, 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 very true. People do not understand how they cut off their own blessings when screwing others over. I want to read something to you really quickly that I screenshot. When I read your message, I saw this and I screenshot. I wanted to respond with this message that I saw from Stephanie Ike. And I quote, "No one would ever hurt you from a place of wisdom or from a place of love. When a person does something, it is out of ignorance or brokenness. It doesn't say that something didn't happen, but I'm no longer going to agree with a lie. I'm not going to identify you to this identity that isn't true. You didn't know better." Okay. Now, from a flesh point of view, from a loyalty type of view, I'm a very, 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 very loyal person. And anyone who knows me knows that. If I got you, I got you. But I don't have a lot of people. You feel me? So I've always had a small circle, small team. If I got you, oh, I got you. From beginning to end, top to bottom, broke to rich, I got you. I'm that kind of person. There's not a lot of people in the world like you, sir. Even though people scream all day long, I'm loyal, loyalty, this, and it's just a word. It sounds good. It's just a word. So there's a very small percentage of people like yourself from what you just described, and I'm in that group. So what happens from a physical sense, it hurts us to our core. It hurts us so bad. Why does it hurt us so bad? It's because we know we could never. So what we're doing is we're holding other people responsible for the level that we're on. These people are not on your level. We have to understand, again, as the chosen ones, we're cut from a different cloth. We're different. We're in a very, very small, I'll say 5 to 10% of people. It's a very small percentage of people. So when we find out someone betray us, we help them. Let's just say they, I don't know, we help them. They stole from us. We helped them. They didn't pay us back when they say they would, or we helped them and then they went behind our backs and talked crap, even though I was the only one to help you, or I helped you and you took whatever I did and never looked back. So it's a number of reasons on how that betrayal could have happened. But ultimately, what we do in the physical sense, we're trying to hold them responsible to our level, where most people are in survivor mode. Most people don't really know what loyalty is. They just heard that word in the hood, right? But loyalty is about actions. So now the question is, when you help, did you genuinely help from your heart? Because see, when you genuinely help from your heart, you're not really taking guys, you probably hear my dog back here snoring. I'm telling you, I have, my baby's elderly. Please just spare her, but that's over here. So when you help from your heart, you're really not taking count. But when you're helping from your own flesh, for whatever reason, just out of your own loyalty per se, or maybe you have a liking to this person, or maybe your heart just feels bad for that person, but you didn't hear from God to help, then at that point, we're responsible on our own. Because we didn't even ask God, if you didn't, we didn't even ask God, is this somebody who you need me to help? And if God says yes, then we don't even take count of that. So if the person betrays us, it is not that we're really broken, right? It's an offense. So it's going to but we're not really broken. That broken and that hurt that goes to the core is because we're seeing it from a fleshly level. The majority of people are broken. They're hurt. They're lost. So they don't even realize what they're doing to you. They're just moving. They're just moving in survivor mode. They're not thinking twice about, But all I can say is this right here. Never forget, right? Again, forgive, but don't forget. So now this is a lesson learned. This person's showing you their action. They're showing you their true colors. So now in the future, this is not somebody who I can really I'm not going to look out for you, right? Unless I hear from God in a whole nother scenario. But you can't move too quick. Yes. People block they don't get it. Why do you think you're the one who's able to lend the money? Why do you think this person who has no loyalty, who has no obviously character integrity, why do you think they're coming to you for money? God take notes. I've learned a very, very long time ago, that my blessings come back from God. Think about everything that you have right now. Did people give you that stuff? Or did God give you that stuff? God opened the door to that job. God opened the door to that opportunity. God blessed you with that house when your credit was probably 29. God gives us the blessings. We sometimes, as people, want to think that our blessings come back from the people we help. When I take account, and my God, I can't even, because I have no idea, the people that I've helped. Anybody that I've ever helped, maybe 10% out of 100, the blessing came back from them, or the return blessing came back from them. It's almost like, ooh, I remember you had my back 5 years ago. Now that I'm on my feet, I want to bless you double what you helped me, right? It's rare, very, very rare. But then when I realized the supernatural ways in which God has opened doors and provided and created, that I know without a doubt my own works could not have done, that tells me my blessings come back from God rather than people. So we're doing ourselves a disservice if we feel like, I bless you, so your loyalty needs to come back to me. No, 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 no. Mm-mm. No, not when we're moving in spirit. So this is why we have to move in spirit. Like yesterday, there were two instances. One was a lady, probably in her 30s. She had like 5 children, probably all under the age of 10. You know, the sign asking for money, whatever, whatever, whatever. Of course, everybody has signs. Some people are lying, whatever. But when you hear from the spirit, let me pull over right quick. Let me connect to the spirit. God, is this somebody you need me to help? Boom. Yes. Circle back around, handed her $50, kept it moving. Never thought about it twice. Never thought about it twice. Never thought about, where did this lady take this $50 and go buy some crack? I would only think that way if I'm moving in flesh, because now I'm thinking like, wait a minute, I work so hard for my money. Like this girl, no, I connected. God says, yes, bless. So when God tells us to do something, we don't even think about it. You don't think about it twice. You do it and you keep it moving. You do it and you keep it moving. And then this is why you see your return blessings that always doesn't come back the way you gave it out. So you gave cash and maybe an open door. You gave cash and maybe a happy marriage or a proposal, whatever. You gave cash, I'm going to promote you to supervisor even though you only been on the job 3 days, right? So this is what it's about. So just understand that your heart is set up different. Understand that you're in a very small percentage of people. Understand that most people are not on your level. Understand that most people don't think like you. Understand that your blessings come back from God, and this is why you're the one giving and not asking or borrowing. Understand that this person, whatever they took, don't realize that they're going to lose way, way, way more. This is why you know people or you're around people, and it's almost like, why could this person never get ahead? 5 years ago, you was in this slump. 10 years later, you're in this slump. I ran into you 20 years later, and you're still in this same slump. People will never get ahead when you are taking advantage of people. Period. But then even going back to you with the offenses, because you are a man who knows the Lord, you still have to, ask God to help you release that offense, because the blessing that he is probably ready to return to you, he is not going to be able to give it to you until you release that offense. Actually, yesterday when I was driving, I got a download about Steve in the same sense. God had to bring it back to me again. No, I don't even want you side-eyeing him. Let me be clear. I'm not mad with Steve. I'm disappointed. Right? I'm disappointed. So there's a difference. I'm not mad with Steve. But then God had to give me a new download. What responsibility are you going to take? Because see, I be telling y'all to do one thing, and then you want to just do this because of your heart. All right. So first, you have to take that responsibility. So I refer this back to you, my friend. What responsibility do you take? Has this person ever given you any reason to doubt that they weren't solid? Right? Because we always have that little thing, that little inkling, like, yeah. But sometimes, because of flesh, or maybe she was beautiful, if it was a female, or maybe it was a dude, right? Because of flesh, we ignore that little and we still help. So we have to take accountability for ignoring or not using our discernment before we even help. Okay, next. For me, what I got was, okay, I'm going to help you to forgive this offense, because you say you're not side-eyeing, but I know you. I know you very well, and you will side-eye somebody for 100 years. So, so I'm going to give you grace to release this offense, because I got to get some more stuff in you. I need you to reach more people. I need you to do more things. I need you to get some more downloads. So you got to work with me. I'm demanding that for you to filter out and dispense this offense. Because this offense could have been avoided. If you stayed what I told you to do, you wouldn't even be offended because you're doing it for me. You're only offended because you put the extra toppings on it. And then that extra toppings had no grace. So that's you. So you're really offended because of you. And I was like, well, I guess that's my read for the day. You're right. Just snatch my edge. You're absolutely right. So, okay. Next thing, you know this man has been homeless. You know this man is hurt to the core because, he lost his wife and he just wanted to drink himself to death. You know all this. So how could you even assume or try to place him in the certain percentage of the 10% who rides a certain way, who have a certain type of loyalty, who have integrity and character? You already know this. So how are you holding someone to a certain standard that you already knew was wounded? So then I refer back to you, my friend. If this was a female, right? And it was. My spirit doesn't tell me that. You try to make it sound like it's a guy, but it's my spirit. When you sent me that, right? I was like, oh, this some kind of female he done help. She done took his money and did something crazy. So I'm gonna speak from that because I already know it's a female. All right. So you you already know this female was broken. You already know this female was damaged. You already know she probably, that you probably did something in the sense that, well, let me try to do the next dude up and really help her. And she probably, just then took your money and or whatever. And now you're in your feelings. So I refer back to you. You knew her character and her integrity. I don't care how fine she is. Did you test the spirit? Men go by the physical first. Then you want to test the spirit after the fact, right? Whatever. Okay. So you didn't test her spirit. She was just fine. So what part of accountability do you hold? See, we want to blame the offense on the individual, which it is, don't get me wrong. But we got to still convert back to look at ourselves. What do we do wrong? Okay. So then once God helps you and give you grace to remove that offense, and you have to, for your own sake. Because see, when you gave from your heart to her, God still saw your heart. So God still takes an accountability that you move from your heart, or unless you were moving 100% flesh. But God saw you gave from your heart. So in order for him to give you back the return blessing, that offense can't be there any longer. So this is why I'm working overtime this weekend to get this offense from Steve out of my heart, because the return blessing can't come back until that offense is gone. The easiest way to release this offense is, again, recognizing your part, understanding they're just broken, wounded people who don't know any better. And lastly, putting the boundary in place after. What is that boundary? Are you going to allow her back in your life and you're just not going to help again, even though she offended you? That's between you and God, because I don't know the circumstances. This may be a person who God may need you to reach for a certain thing. But if you let her back in your life, you just can't be shelling out whatever you shelled out to her, or however she betrayed you. You're going to have firm boundaries up. All right, God, if you want me to forgive this person and let them back, what is the boundaries? Now I can only give her words, but I can't help her financially. What is the boundaries? Like with me, the boundary with Steve may be, I don't know, maybe I'm going to remove this fence. Now you go back and let him know that you forgive him, because he's holding on to that, thinking you're mad with him. I need you to release him. Sometimes God will send that. I had to do that with an ex. Sometimes God will send you back to free a person. Because the person who has offended you, if they have any heart, any emotion, they're holding on to that too. This is why you can find someone who have cheated in a relationship. I'll say a guy, for example. Men and women cheat, but I'm just saying a guy cheated 35 years ago and he's never moved on. He's never remarried, but instead he chose to drink himself crazy? Because he can't forgive himself that he cheated and lose that woman that he loved. Sometimes God will send you back to free a person, even when you don't want to. So God may say, go and apologize. Go and accept Steve's apology, or just let him know, even if he don't apologize, let him know that you forgive him. You're not okay with what he did, but you do forgive him. And either new boundaries will be established, meaning you get $0 per month. I'm taking your entire check, and I'm putting you somewhere you can afford. Or God may say, go, let him know you forgive him and move on with your life. I don't know yet, but he's not going to tell me until I get this offense out of my heart. Which I'm there. I'm 90% there. If I see him right now, I might push him down. Lord, forgive me. I would never in my life. But I'm 90% there. And I'm sure by tomorrow I'll be 100%. But that's my thing for you, my friend. Just, understand that you're rare. You're cut from a different cloth. You helped her from your heart. Most people are not like you. Maybe this person is extremely just broken, whatever. Remove the offense so God can give you your return blessing. Learn from it, and understand that it's important to test the spirit regardless of how someone looks. You guys have a great weekend. It's your girl, Kizzy Rock.